much. Lorien?
Right, gosh, there's a lot to listen to. I wasn't quite sure what angle I was going to come at this from, so I wanted to hear what everybody else had got to say. My declaration of interest is that I am vapor, and I have been for 3 years. I smoked for 23 years before that, so I was quite a committed smoker. The war on e-cigarettes. I think there are a lot of reasons why this is happening, and I think most distressing for people like me is to see the people that are perpetrating this war, the guys that are actually making this an issue. These guys, the people from public health and tobacco controls, these are guys who are charged with looking after our health, my health, your health, our children's, everybody's health, whatever decision that we make in life. They're supposed to be looking after us. Now, when this came along, around 3 years ago, it looked nothing like this, much more simple devices. No one really knew much about them, but smokers started getting interested. Most smokers will tell you, and I don't know how many smokers there are in the room, but I'm fairly atypical. I tried everything to give up. I mean, I read the Alan Carr book, I had the patches, the gums, the inhaler, I did cold turkey. I changed my entire lifestyle, so I had to avoid any cues or anything that would make me want to smoke. My husband took Renacin, which is Champix, and in the end I had to ask him to stop taking it because of what it did to his character. So I was the smoker who had given up giving up. I wasn't interested in not smoking anymore because it brought me too much misery. So when this came along, I was interested. And none of the other stuff had worked. And I'm the same as every other smoker out there that's picked one of these up. It's kind of idle interest. And you kind of think, can I do this without help? Do I not need the state? Do I not need public health to tell me that I can do this? Because I'm doing this online. I've spoken to other smokers and other vapors, and they've given me advice. And then it turns up on your doorstep, and you start using it, and it works. Then you discover there's a whole world of unusual and interesting people out there who are doing exactly the same as you, and not one of them has had to go to the States to ask for help to do this. They're funding it themselves, they're paying for it themselves, they are completely independent of all the bullying and all of the kind of demeaning behaviour that smokers have had to deal with for most of their adult lives. If you consider, I started smoking when I was 12, and I'm 37 now, and I've smoked for 23 years. For most of my life, I was told by society that I was disgusting, that I wasn't wanted, that I couldn't be around them, I couldn't be around children, that I smelled. I had people approaching me in the street that I had never met before. Total strangers at my workplace tell me that made me ugly, that was going to kill me. A total invasion of my private space for something that I was doing as a smoker. So when this comes along, and all these smokers pick this up, you kind of feel like maybe society's going to welcome you back again. That maybe all the people who had written all of the adverts, that had written all the guidance for smoking cessation services, they will turn around and go, do you know what? Well done, because you're not smoking anymore. Do you know, we've been bugging you about this for most of your life now. And what did they do? They turned around and they told us, you shouldn't have those because the flavours are bad for children. Children want to start smoking cigarettes because of the flavours. They told us, but it looks like smoke. So people are suddenly going to want to start taking up cigarettes again because what comes out of your mouth looks a little bit like smoke. Every single argument that could be thrown at us for doing this has been, and the last 3 years have been a constant war against the kind of ideological, puritanical idea that we cannot do something that might be a little bit harmful in place of something that's incredibly harmful. And what makes this worse is Chris mentioned Chan from the WHO. The WHO's own figures, their own numbers, which they are happy to quote at every corner, 1 billion deaths this century. 1 billion deaths from smoking. Now whether you believe the figures or not, even if it's only a fraction of that, that's a lot of people. And then in the same breath, she and other organisations, with more acronyms than I can possibly name, who are supposed to be looking after us, will say those same numbers and then say, but these need to be restricted. These need to be on prescription. Smokers should have to go somewhere to get these from the state. They shouldn't look like that. They should be much simpler. Why do they need choice? Who needs to use nicotine? Nicotine's a fairly inane drug, let's be fair. And I know because I've run the gamut of drugs, so I have some kind of some quality of experience here. Nicotine is not the best of recreational drugs. To say it has no positive effects is ignorance. as we already mentioned, for various mental conditions, it does have positive effects. And I think once we get further into this debate and the acceptance is better, we'll start to learn more of the benefits of nicotine. But do you know what? It's no one's damn business. It's the ultimate thing. I'm not smoking. You told me not to smoke. I'm using nicotine. Tonight I could go out and drink so much alcohol that I get in my car and kill as many people as I could possibly drive into. No matter how much of that I do, I never will make a bad decision. And ultimately what this comes down to is this ridiculous war against smokers and against the tobacco industry only affects one person. The cannon fodder in this is smokers. But then you kind of get the feeling that smokers don't really matter.